Hello, and welcome to Universal Heritage Television, Niger. My name is Afam Echi. We are anchored this morning. We are going to bring you another interesting edition in our Daybreak Niger program. We have two guests here, Mr. Martins Ori. Mr. Martins Ori is editor-in-chief and co-publisher of the New Oriental newspaper. Martin, you are welcome.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
We also have another guest, Mr. Collins Ohala, who is incidentally a knight, and is the convener of Global Association of Concerned Imo Youth. He's a journalist, has edited many papers in the States, and he is also somebody who looks at issues critically whenever they arise. We have them today to discuss the coming of President Muhammadu Buhari to Imo State, which took place Tuesday this week. We are going to do a post-mortem and examine what actually played out during his visit. Gentlemen, you are welcome.
Thank you.
I'm going to take you first, Mr. Martin Sori. Recently, you authored a story which you described, you entitled it Questions for President Muhammadu Buhari and Governor Hope Uzodinma. In your write-up, you made mention that in the commissioning of the project, the government removed or deleted, using your exact words, deleted the imprimatur of Governor Emeka Ihedioha, whom, according to you, laid the foundation for this project the president came to commission. In what looked like a contradiction, you also commended the governor for continuing the projects of his predecessor. I want you to explain what are really the issues for you in the claim that the imprimatur of Governor Ihedioha was removed. What actually do you want the government to do? Or how would you want the government to recognize his contribution to those projects?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Afama Echi. The issue there, I'll start by saying that it's like somebody who lost his car, and instead of telling people that you have lost their car, you say that you are looking for car key. So the Ihedioha angle you mentioned is just is less than 1% of what I wrote. Ihedioha was not actually the main issue.
I want you to dwell on this. I will come to you on the other issues.
Okay. Yeah. What is it? A part of the problem we have in Nigeria, in the black race, is that it is said that government is a continuum, but we have several issues where when Mr. A finishes his tenure and goes away, Mr. B, who comes in, we go there to totally start a different type of program or programs, projects, replicating another form what the person there had started. Sometimes the Mr. A must have gone up to 25%, 30%, 50%, at times 80%. What he just needed is just a finishing point, and it is very simple. For instance, Okrocha started what he called 27 new general hospitals in Imo State. Of course, he did not do anything. But I want to tell you that if we had continued there, by now Imo State would have been, in all, there were 30 general hospitals Okrocha started. Don't mind he claims that he spent 1 billion naira pay. Don't mind he claims that they were completed. But the thing was that there was a process started. Why can't the other administrators that came after Okorocha continue with that project? By now, in each local government, and from Bobombise, for example, there would have been a standard general in hospital. People from Bobombise will not be coming to Were, thereby making the FMC very over-bloated, very suffocative. That's the point I was trying to make. It doesn't take away anything from the state government led by His Excellency Senator Hope Uzodinma to say, yes, making Ihedioha started these routes. Government is a continuum. Let us continue from there. All the contractors Emeka brought were all sacked. If the contractors were brought through the backyard, why couldn't the government expose Emeka? Well, the monies we are paid, we want to know what happened to those monies. Did the maker tell us lies that monies were paid? Were the contracts not signed? Were the activities that ought to be done when signing a contract not? What went wrong? It's not good that a state government will do a job and go away. And that was my.
Okay, I understand you. If I get you very well, what you are saying is continuity.
Continuity, and then comment what that
then
person
give
stop.
credit, so-
Exactly, where the person has done right.
Okay, Mr. Gala, I get back to you. In one sentence, how will you describe the visit of President Muhammadu Buhari? In one sentence, just very briefly.
Okay, I think first of all I should have said a thing or two about my colleague's position on the wonderful program. I mean, they rebuilt or reconstructed the Imo House of Assembly.
No, I'm coming to Imo House of
You see,
Assembly.
yes.
If you are not responding to what he said, leave the issue of House of Assembly.
Yes, I am responding to what he said. I'm not talking about the project, the edifice itself. You have seen how wonderful it looks, but I want to respond to his claims. I don't agree with him. In fact, I'm surprised at what he said, because if I say, look, I don't have a stake in this organization, and somebody else comes to say, look, you have a stake, I should ask the person, what do you mean? Because on Monday, on the 12th day of September, the People's Democratic Party issued a press release signed by their new publicity secretary, my friend, Collins Oprozo. He said that the House of Assembly complex was built by Simon Bakwe 30 years ago, and that the structure stands strong, that nothing wrong with it, that there was no need for the governor to have gone to do anything on it, that in fact what the governor did was to just repaint the place, that it was strong, nothing happened to it, that he was just wasting money. He did not say, the party did not say that when they were in office, they started the process. So I am not surprised that my colleague Ori Martins, who is not a member of the People's Democratic Party to my knowledge, who is not the public secretary to my knowledge, is making claims alien to the party. So what is the basis for this claim? When the party said, look, that did not happen.
Let me tell you, he's not speaking on behalf of it.
But I'm telling you that there is no basis for his claim, because, excuse me, there is a saying that you don't cry more than they believed. They believed, they say, look, we don't own these cops. And you are telling the family, look, this corpse belongs to you. I don't see the basis for that kind of claim.
No, even though I'm not in his mind, just hold on, we'll get back to that.
So now to the question you asked me.
If I get him right, he's talking about the road projects, and we know he had made a contribution in those roads.
Your question was in reference to the state assembly. You did not mention road project. He was the person who enlightened to talk about continuity.
I didn't talk
but
about
to that project, somebody called my attention to his article, and I just told him that I didn't finish. I just had an excerpt, and he talked about the House of Assembly, and he said, like you quoted him, that the governor deleted Ihedoha's imprimatur on that project, and I'm telling you that the party, Ihedoha's party, said Ihedoha didn't do anything like that. That the structure was strong.
But it's not true. Ohala, wait, Ohala, you were a party to PDP, making Ihedoha's administration. You knew very well that Ihedoha actually gave contracts to that state complex. True or false?
No. I do not know.
You don't know.
Yes, okay. I do not know, but I want to rely on what the party said.
Okay.
If the party says that Ihedoha did not do anything, who am I to say that he did? Unless you want to force the party to say, party, you lied.
No. Wait. You see, Okocha, there was a drama that happened when Okocha started playing for Nigeria. Two journalists in Lagos, actually they were interns. They came to me and said, Okocha, this one said his name is JJ. This one said his name is Austin. I said, who said his name is Austin? This one says it's me. Who said his name is JJ? This one says it's me. I said, two of you are incorrect. You understand? What the public secretary of the PDP Collins issued was a press statement. But the fact of the matter remains, go to history, go to record, you will discover that Ihedioha did give out the contract for the renovation of
let's not, we're not going to spend the entire time on this particular issue. But let me still dwell on the issue. Collins, let me ask you. Following what, because I had a glimpse of what the Collins Oporozo put out, what I got him to say is that the House of Assembly project was a project already done. That what the present governor did was just to renovate it. And now when you have renovated the project, he didn't award a fresh contract. He didn't do anything different. Maybe there were the structure was decaying, and he had to patch it up and fix some things. Now, was it right that the governor should claim to have done that project to invite Buhari to come and commission it?
See, now, that
because we know the process.
Can I answer?
Yeah, feel free.
Now, Okorocha was governor of Imo State in 2011.
Okay.
It was during his time that he relocated the assembly to Ojumegbu Ojukwu Center. He said he was renovating the House of Assembly. Now, he finished after some years, took the assembly back to the complex. Ihedioha came as governor, visited the place, saw that the place had dilapidated, not fit for anybody to live there, let alone housing a state assembly. Ihedioha relocated them back to Ojukwu Center. To the best of my knowledge, no work was going on by the time Ihedioha left. Hope Uzodinma came and saw the same dilapidation in the structure. It was inhabitable. It is not fair to say that the person who remodeled the assembly, have you been there? If you take a visit to that place, you see how remodeled it is. It is unfair to tell that man to not take credit. He did not say he started the project, the structure from the foundation. He is saying that he rebuilt, he restructured, he reconstructed it. And to be fair to him, he deserves all the accolades. He did not, he's not saying that Simon Bakwe of blessed memory did not do anything. He's not dragging anything with anybody, but he is saying, this is my spotlight, allow me enjoy it. I'd agree with him that he should be allowed to enjoy his spotlight. He did find wonderful work there. You see the chambers, you see everywhere is remodeled. You now have an elevator, you now have beautiful offices. I mean, to world standard, towards international standard. And it is the best House of Assembly. We have it. We have it in the whole of Nigeria. I've not seen anyone, not even in Lagos, do have anything like that. Okay. The man should be allowed to enjoy his spotlight.
Okay. Well, the public has a different opinion from what I understand. Martin, let me get back to you. The last time, in the last 1 year, President Buhari has been here twice. In September 2021, he said when he visited, he described Governor Hope Uzodinma as a man of integrity. This time around, he came again and said Governor Hope Uzodinma's efforts could be likened to an infrastructural revolution. Do you agree? Are we seeing infrastructural revolution in Imo State?
Well, the truth is that both the president and the governor belong to the same party, and the election is fast and approaching, and the APC, of course, wants to retain its stronghold to some states, and as well as win the presidential election. So it would have taken an angel out of the president to have told you anything contrary to what he said. The fact remains that number one, I don't even have issues that the president came here and described the governor in hallowed adjectives. The problem is this: I have so many questions because of that comment. Number one, all over the world, when a president is visiting any place, especially a place, mind you, if you remember, if you follow history, on June 12, 1987, President Reagan visited the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin and invited the now late, I'm sure he died last week or 2 weeks ago, Gorbachev, and said, bring down this gate, pull down this wall. He was calling him to end the Cold War. And he didn't go far before Brandenburg Gate was pulled down. And Eastern and German, the East and the East and West Germans reunited and became, that wall was erected on August 18, 1962. It got pulled down in 1989. That is what presidents go and see. We have been saying that, one, the Southeast is excluded. We have 16 security chiefs in Nigeria. None is from the Southeast. Number two, the biggest in project President Muhammad Buhari and APC have been doing in Nigeria in the past 7 years is the red track. I'm coming, please. Now,
I will give you a chance. I'm coming to the point. You will talk. But what I am asking you, I want you to dwell specifically. Are we seeing infrastructural revolution in Imo State, just like President Buhari?
Afamechi, I wrote to Jamb around 30 years ago. I don't know. It's only in Jamb you tell a mature person to answer ABC yes or no. You can't tell me. I don't know when time. Wait. The truth is this. I wonder the indices that the president used in describing the governor as an infrastructural governor, as you said. Number one, over here, there is a road called MCC Road. Awarded, the governor has been on that road for how many years? For 3 years. Is that road up to 3 kilometers? The first time Buhari came here, he was received and was taken to Ihiagwa Futo on the road. And he commissioned an uncompleted road up to there. Go to that road now. The Ihiagwa end of that road has gone worse. And from Abombise, the road linking us, Mbakwe built that road from Ehime to Ayazu, to Abo, to Ngobala, to Obala, that will take you to Aba. That road is embarrassingly impassable. Go to Ngobala, go to all the states go to all the roads in Imo State. They are all bad. I wonder from what indices that the president used to describe Governor Uzodinma as an infrastructural governor. Maybe my friend here, Collins, he can help us out to tell us the project.
Yes, I'll help you out. You see, let me help him out. You see, let's look at first of all the Naze Federal Police Ihiagwa Futo Road. I remember that in 2020, when this administration was new, that a group of youths staged a protest on that road. They had, was it wedding or honeymoon on that road? And as we speak, that spot, that section where those protests were staged, that section of the road is now a brand new.
Are you talking of the section of the entire road? In 3 years, a section of the road.
I did when you were talking, so you have to perhaps listen to me. Now, what the government said was that the road was done in 2 phases. The first one is done and delivered. You ply that road, I ply that road. It is delivered. Strong road. Now that taken care of. The Owerri Okigwe Road project. I remember that in 2019, the secretary of the PDP, Ray Mangena, had on radio, a radio station in Owerri, saying that road was federal government road, that the administration will not touch it. Irrespective of the fact that Ekemele was a no-go area. Which other junction at Mbano area? Amanaku was a no-go area. There is another junction after that. No-go area. But as we speak today, you can drive on this road 2 eyes closed.
I agree with
what the government is saying is that this road is in 2 phases. Now the Owerri Olu Road project was mismanaged, even abandoned, ignored by previous administration. The other administration did not.
Why am I mentioning? Why am I mentioning? Why am I mentioning? Ihedo has stayed seven. Wait, Ihedo has stayed 7 months. No, Ihedo has stayed 7 months in office. He cannot be mentioning.
Excuse me. Please excuse me.
You cannot be saying that now.
Please excuse me.
PDP left office in.
Don't make this a shouting match.
In 2007.
Please, unless you are intolerant of another view. Unless you are intolerant of another view. Now that road, no, I'm not being hostile. I'm only addressing the issues you raised. What I'm saying is that Mr. President was right to have described Hope Uzodinma as infrastructure revision, an infrastructure governor. He has done well. Look at the issue of flooding in Owerri. A few years ago, people drowned along Okigwe in the flood along close to Imsu Junction. People left their homes across Owerri. But as we speak now, once the rain drops, it dries up. That is what we have seen in Owerri. For the past 2 years, Hope has solved this problem. See, leadership is about solving problems. You can't solve these problems at the same time. Hope is not saying that he has built all the roads in Imo State or in Owerri. But the ones he has done, they are revolutionary. And they agree with Mr. President that Governor Hope Uzodinma has done enough.
Can I respond to...
what I can say here is, there are bad spots the governor has fixed. The Ekemele, the Amarako Junction. They are very good things. And that's what he's expected to do. I don't think there's anything wonderful. If you pay your children's school fees that you are supposed to do obligatorily, I don't think there is anything.
You see, I suppose you are a moderator in this program. You are not supposed to be passing judgments. You are a moderator in this program. If you know the answers, you don't have to invite us here. Your job is to ask us questions and we'll answer you. Ask us another one. Not when you ask me a question, I give you an answer. You try to mark my script and say, I think this is what I know. No. Three of us here are journalists.
Yes.
And you can't come in here to turn the rule upside down.
I want you to take another question.
God bless you. Give me another question.
Now, many people hold the view that Governor Wike in Rivers State has done a lot of projects and they've been commissioning a lot of projects without disturbing the president. Twice in 1 year, the president has been here, to commission projects. Now, is there any special benefit the visit of the president attracts to the state?
Now, I'll answer.
Okay, go ahead.
First of all, Wike, you said he's doing a lot and not disturbing Mr. President. If Wike is not disturbing Mr. President, he's disturbing so many other people. He has invited the Speaker of the Federal House of Representatives, it is disturbance. He has invited sitting governors, it is disturbance. He has invited former governors, it is disturbance. Whether he invited Mr. President or not Mr. President, he's inviting people. And I don't think these people, when they come, they bring any economic dividend to Rivers State. That is by the way. Number two, you see, the visit of a president to a state is like when a father wants to visit his son or his daughter. You don't say, Daddy, why are you trying to visit me? What are you bringing? You don't ask that question. You are excited. You are happy that your dad is visiting. You want to sit down with daddy. You want to eat with daddy. You want to walk around with daddy. That alone is good. Now, number three, presidential visits are essentially for national integration. Okay. It is essentially for national integration. It is to pass the message of unity. It is to pass the message of I am part of you. You are part of me. That is why when president visits a state, he dresses in their attire. He wears their attire. He wears their costume. He eats their food. He sits down with them for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. He exchanges pleasantries. That is the essential part of the visit. But for this particular one, let me also remind you that the two road projects commissioned are federal government roads. And the Governor Hope Uzodinma said that he got the approval of the president to do these roads with the promise that the state will be refunded. Now, it serves good purpose to bring Mr. President to witness the road done. So that when we ask for money, when we ask for refund, it won't be cumbersome, because normally it is a cumbersome process. If the president did not come, the Ministry of Works would have sent a director to come and witness that incident. So instead of depending on the opinion or the testimony of a director in the Ministry of Works, the president's testimony and opinion supersede all that. So I think it was proper, it was fitting to have invited Mr. President to come and commission this project you approved for us to construct, so that we can have our money as soon as possible. I agree with Mr. President.
Affirmation, wait, before you ask me the same question, he is indicting himself here, which means the government does not trust itself. That is the meaning that the government in the process, if the person that's supposed to sign that paper is the director of works, it will only take the approval of the government, the president, for it to be well authenticated. That is an indictment on the federal government. That's point number one. Point number two, I'm not trying to drag you backward. When I mentioned the issue of Iyagwa Road, he mentioned that a particular spot, which included his phase A of phase 1 of whatever phase is completed. The issue is that what is the kilometers of that road?
7 kilometers done already.
Excuse me.
7 kilometers. It's 14 kilometers. 7 done already.
You told me before that when I was trying to interject, you said I should, and I've kept quiet. The thing is that for how long will it take a state government to do? Let us assume that our road is 15 kilometers. How many years is it going to take? The first phase done. How many months? How many years did it take? The remaining phases, how many years, how many months, how much is involved? He only mentioned a particular spot. That's point number two. The Ekemele airport is talking about, well, I didn't hear when Ray Manga of then the PDP, up to now the secretary of the PDP, made that instruction. But I was aware that Owerri Okigwe Road, transpassing Ekemele, was among the 32 roads Emeka awarded when he came in. It was very unfortunate that he stayed only 7 months and left. So that is the drama there. He made a mention of disturbing the speaker, disturbing former governors. My brother, the amount of preparation, the amount of money, the amount of dullness that a presidential visit attracts is not the same with a governor. It's not the same. It's not the same with a senator.
But we were here during the time of the PDP administration from 1999. They were all inviting presidents. They were all inviting presidents. On one occasion, excuse me, on one occasion, when Yadua Drive was being commissioned, President Yadua was invited, and Yadua was in the picture.
Yadua Drive is still
Drive
is still on.
It is not on. Hope rehabilitated that road. Governor Uzodinma rehabilitated that road last year. Last year, that road dilapidated, got bad, and it was rehabilitated by Governor Uzodinma without fanfare.
You told me.
But I can't allow you to mislead anybody.
You told me not to interject.
I can't allow you to mislead anybody here.
I'm interjected twice while I'm talking. So don't take offense if I interject when you're talking again.
APC, for the Imo people we are talking about, it's not about PDP, APC. Please, you described in your essay that the visit of the president is more or less like a jamboree, So what actually do you mean? Very brief, one minute.
Yeah, what I really wanted to bring out was I was a schoolboy when Shagari, who was the president of Nigeria, visited Imo State in 1981. I was around when the presentation was made, and Mbakwe, sincerely appealed to the president that there is an airport project going on in Imo State, that the federal government should please come to the assistance of the state. So what I want to ask is that we are very much aware that in all federal projects, Imo State Southeast have been excluded. The coming to Owerri of the president of Nigeria would have been an opportunity for the state government led by His Excellency Senator Uzodinma to have called Imo stakeholders, to have called Imo elders and say, please, my people, come, let us make a presentation to the president. Why is it that railway, that trillions of naira that my children, your children, our children are going to repay, not one single track crisscrossed the Southeast? We have asked the president to and then ask for amendments. Number one, Imo State now is unfortunately, sadly, now in the list of insecure states, insecurity is especially in the Olu area. And a part of the problem, we don't have any member of Southeast. When security meetings have been discussed, Imo does not have a representation because Southeast is not represented in the 16-member security chiefs. We should have used that opportunity to make for amends. Number 3, I can tell you that the President Buhari has built 7 federal universities, including Army University in Borno. In Borno State, including Transportation University in Daura. Which one is given to us? Imo State, our biggest industry here is education. That is what I'm saying. That stakeholders were not consulted. That thing did not attract anything. It was a jamboree, and it stands so. That is the truth.
Okay. Collins. Before the president visited, there was something like a kind of cleanup exercise that took place in the state.
A lot of what?
Cleanup exercise.
Yes.
Yeah, the NTRACO, the state agency, moved around and started with a public address system to get people to clean up gutter. And by way of kind of enforcing sanctions against the faulters, some corporate organizations were attacked, and individuals, they had their properties seized, by NTRACO, and some of their staffers, the employees, were taken to the police, to the anti-kidnapping unit. And one of the SA to the governor was fingered as leading the attack. Glow office specifically, I went there and I saw things for myself. Now, was it right that the coming of the president should attract that kind of humiliation for the city?
Well, cleaning the environment is a regular thing, or should be a regular thing. Cleaning your the drainages in front of your building, in front of your house, your office, should be a regular thing. You do not have to wait for anybody to enforce it. That is negligence on the part of the people. You don't need that. So if for any reason, whether we're having an August visitor or we're not having an August visitor, somebody said, look, I want to remind you of what you should have been doing. That person should be applauded. You see, what they say, it is...
Applauded in the sense that he should molest people, abuse...
I'm not talking about molesting. I was not there. You just asked me a question. I didn't witness it, and I can't take your word for it. So excuse me. What I'm saying is this. We as citizens should rise to our duties. We should do what we are supposed to do. And when we do these things, it is in our own interest. I watched a TV, I heard on the news yesterday that Lagos state government is threatening to shut down 2 big markets in Lagos over issues like this. And some people already crying foul, say don't do that. The point I'm making is this. We do not have to wait for government to enforce issues like this. We should, on our own, be conscious of how clean our environment is. Because when the environment is dirty, we get sick, we suffer it, we go to hospital, we don't go to work, we don't go to shop. Having said that, I disagree with my colleague that the president's visit was a jamboree. Let me tell you this. Some things are statutory or customary. And I go back to 1999, when PDP was in government, in 2003, in 2007, up to 2011, when PDP left government here. Presidents visited, sometimes to commission less than a kilometer road with fanfare. I didn't hear anybody raise the question, what did we get? But here, I am also surprised that my colleague is saying that the federal government has not done anything for the Southeast. It is good for us to ask more, for us to say, look, where is the railway here? For us to say, where is this federal university here? I will be happy when we ask these questions. But I can count on the tip of my fingers 28 projects. I can read them out here, not in Imo State, in the Southeast, done by the federal government. I have them on my phone. I can read them. I can count at least 28 of them. So it is not correct. It is not correct to say
Please,
that the president
project A,
has done
project
nothing.
B, project C.
Your categorization was that the president has done nothing.
It's nothing.
That is your categorization. You would have said, excuse me,
from Abuja to Kaduna.
Excuse me. I would have loved a situation where you said, Mr. President, you gave us electricity. You gave us, excuse me. You gave us electricity project. There is one in Aba, there is one in Enugu, there is one in Ebonyi. You gave us this project. Where is the railway? But you said they did nothing, and I'm telling you what they did, and you classify them to A and B categories of projects. You see the thing. See, I am not familiar.
When you have not paid school fees because the student with the exercise book cannot go to the class to learn.
See,
so the exercise book you are buying is inconsequential.
It is not correct.
That is the truth.
It's not correct. Some schools will allow you to buy your exercise book and start schooling and pay later.
For how long?
So no, it is not correct. Okay. It is not correct. Your position is not correct.
Listen, man, we're coming to round up the program. Martin, let me ask you. Many people hold the view that the president visits him because he has a good relationship with the governor. And some people also hold the view that we need to align with the government at the center so that we can attract so much dividend.
That's not true.
That's what I want to ask. Let me finish my question. Now, has Governor Hope Uzodinma actually maximized this relationship with the governor to attract
to the president?
And then has our Imo State is being governed by APC government at least for about 8 years now. So to what extent is that statement true that when you vote for the government at the center, it gives you opportunity to attract?
It's not true. One of the worst administrations, one of the worst administrators we have had here was that of Rochas Okrocha. He aligned himself with the government at the center. Here now, go and take an opinion poll. Forget what the government is telling you, both in Abuja and Imo State. It is abysmal. It is a monumental, colossal failure. Go to the villages, not just in Owerri. So some of these intangible things you mentioned are all within Owerri. Here, you understand, go to the 7 local governments, take it sector by sector, in health, in education, in infrastructure, in agriculture. This government came out and said that they are giving a rabbit road. Where is that rabbit factory now? Look at nothing has come to Imo State from the center. The governor is only leveraging on the relationship with the conciliatory relationship with the president for his own pecuniary measures, and that is the truth. I will not tell you lies. In the area of, let me tell you, traffic jam in Owerri, the governor has done well. The KMLN thing he mentioned, fantastic. No, the Olu, we visited one person called Ify. Ify said that he doesn't like APC, but for that road, that is very beautiful. Yeah. But what we are saying is that you gave your wife 10,000 naira to make soup, and the wife comes back from the market and presented the crayfish and meat. Has he made the soup? That's the question.
Okay, it's okay.
There is one thing that impresses me about the Owerri Olu road. In 2019. I was spokesman to someone else who was running for governorship. We visited the community called Amocha. They took us down memory lane, telling us that President Shagari visited them in the 80s and promised to work on their roads. And that since that time, the road remained dilapidated. And they have a saying about that. They call it Unkwa Shagari Kuramucha. Now, part of that road, that particular promise Shagari made to Amucha people has been fulfilled by the construction of this Owerri Olu road since the 80s. And you think the Amucha people will not be excited? So it is not good to categorize another person's achievements as failures. Because if you bring a PDP governor here, you see the PDP governor struggling to get the attention of Mr. President. I saw it when Hedeha was governor. Excuse me.
Yeah,
For
not
7 months.
Excuse me.
No,
You would are you you sound to be bitter when I mention and this is not good. You sound to be bitter. No, in one breath you will say his projects were not being continued. In another breath you agree, and when I talk about him, you say why talk about him. No. You are not being fair. No, you don't have to be bitter. You don't have to be bitter. No, I'm telling you that, excuse me, it pays a lot for you to have excuse me, you gain the state gains a lot when we connect to the center. That is something they call national grid. I just mentioned one, the Owerri Olu Road, that fulfilled the 1980 promise. I have also mentioned, excuse me, I have also mentioned you don't want to see these things, not that they are not there. Not that they are not there. You see, governor is rehabilitating health centers across the communities. They are there in your community, but you don't want to see them. You don't want to see them.
Final question for you, Collins. One of the things that played out during the president visit was a trending video where we saw APC men scrambling for money. You know, they were attired in a uniform that bore the picture of the governor. You know, I don't know, that money they were sharing and struggling for, was it in appreciation of the president's visit, or was it, who made the money available?
You see, for me as a media person, there are issues I don't regard as issues. If I'm passing now, I see people fighting over money, and I ask them, who gave you this money? They say, Afamachi gave us this money. Should I conclude because they said no? Should I conclude because they are wearing your clothes? I don't have to conclude. The state government has not made a statement to this effect. And there is no reliable information, as far as I'm concerned, that the government had anything to do with the money or with the people fighting over money. So it is not in my place to start responding to something that has not been substantiated. So prefer not to comment on this because it is not.
You don't have any information.
Not that I don't have any information, not that I am not aware, I have not seen that video. It has not been substantiated. And mind you, if I want to comment on that, the first thing to do is to fact check that video. I have not done that. I fact check that video, authenticate it from where is the video coming from. Then I'll be able to have a position. But for now, I don't have a position. I don't even regard that video.
Okay, gentlemen, I think we round off the program at this point. Thank you for coming. We appreciate your presence and your contribution. Even though you try to make the program a shouting match, that is very much unlike us. You know, we hope we will do better.
It's crossfire. Fire does not bring coldness.
Okay, our viewers, we thank you for being part of the program. Remember to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our channels. Martins, parting words.
Thank you very much, and we clap for Governor Uzodinma for bringing Buhari to Imo State.
Okay, thank you, Collins. The parting word for the people.
We see when you do well, like they said, the reward for good work is more work. When you do well, we ask you to do more. So Governor Uzodinma has done well. It is my prayer that he does more.
Okay. Gentlemen, I would like to bring you back to this program some other time. I hope you don't mind.
Well, I'll be available if I get earlier notice, like the one I got. It gave me time to prepare.
It as hot as it was today.
No. You see, it depends on issues as they come and as my colleague responds. You understand? If you keep the issues civil, we'll discuss civil. You know, we can agree and disagree. No doubt about that. But when you blow hot and cold, I have a problem with that.
Thank you so much.